Have you ever screamed into the heavens and have been met with nothing but silence? Have you ever pleaded with God, desperate for a sign, a whisper, any proof that he hears you at all? But the only answer is the echo of your own longing. The silence is crushing. It feels like abandonment, like exile in a starless night. You beg for breakthrough, for rescue, for just a sliver of hope, and yet the heavens remain closed, unmoved, unyielding. It's in these agonizing gaps, these endless nights, that your faith is forged or fractured. But what if the silence isn't absence? What if the darkness isn't void? What if God's quiet is not neglect, but the very setting of his most profound work? You see, the greatest miracles are born in the hidden places, the places where your cries seem to vanish into emptiness. The greatest breakthroughs begin when nothing appears to be happening at all. God's silence is not his abandonment, it is his workshop. It is the sacred forge where destiny is hammered out, where character is refined, where the masterpiece is shaped in secret. Consider Joseph, languishing in the darkness of an Egyptian prison. Betrayed by family, forgotten by those he helped, he sat in chains while the world moved on without him. Genesis 40:23 says, "The chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph. He forgot him." Joseph's prayers bounced off the stone walls. No answer, no intervention, just silence. But in that silence, God was moving kings and dreams and nations into alignment. The palace was casting shadows over his cell, but God was planning to turn that shadow into the doorway of his destiny. Or recall Lazarus, dead, entombed, mourned. His sisters sent word to Jesus, confident that he would come. But John 11:6 tells us, "So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days." 2 days of silence, 2 days of unanswered prayers, 2 days where it looked like hope had died. But in that delay, resurrection was being prepared. The silence was not the end. It was the setting for glory that would shatter every expectation. Esther walked palace corridors, shrouded in secrecy and uncertainty. She was chosen, but she was waiting, hidden, unseen, her true purpose veiled even from herself. Her people faced annihilation, and God seemed absent. Yet every step she took, every silent moment, was orchestrating a deliverance that would save a nation. The silence was strategy. David, anointed but hunted, hid in the caves while his enemies ruled above. Psalm 13:1 cries, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" The king in waiting was forced into the wilderness, his only companions the shadows and his own doubt. Yet in those caves, his heart was molded for the throne. The silence was preparation. Paul, chained in prison, writing letters no one expected to survive, dared to pen. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. 2 Corinthians 4:17. What looked like defeat was actually the birthing ground for a revolution that would echo through eternity. You are not forgotten in your silence. You are not invisible in your waiting. God is the master craftsman, shaping you like clay on the potter's wheel. Isaiah 64:8 reminds us, "We are the clay, you are the potter. We are all the work of your hand." The spinning, the pressing, the silence, all are the hands of God molding destiny out of dust. Sometimes he weaves gold into your story through the darkest threads. Like a master weaver, he pulls shimmering strands of redemption through the fabric of your pain, threading glory into the places you thought were forever lost in the shadow. Romans 8:28 anchors this truth. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Even the silence, especially the silence. You may feel stranded in a barren wilderness, watching hourglasses empty, staring at doors that refuse to open. But beneath the surface, mountains are shifting. The ground is trembling with the weight of what God is preparing. You cannot see it yet, but tectonic plates are moving. Foundations are being laid, and everything is aligning for the moment of breakthrough. There is spiritual warfare raging in the shadows, battles between doubt and faith, between darkness and light. Sometimes the silence masks the fiercest fights. Shadows retreat not by your might, but by the light that God is kindling in you. The ancient scrolls of Scripture glow against the darkness, declaring, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Isaiah 55:8-9. Your character is being refined in the flames, just as gold is purified in fire. Every unanswered prayer, every silent night, every closed door is fashioning you for a purpose beyond what you can imagine. The silence is not the death of your calling. It is the crucible in which your calling is purified. Breakthrough is not born in the noise, but in the quiet. Prison doors do not shatter until the time is right. Tombstones do not crack open until hope seems lost. Dawn does not break until the night has run its course, and the olive branch only grows from the cracked ground, watered by tears and longing. You are not abandoned. You are being prepared. The silence is the seedbed of miracles. When you can't see his hand, trust his heart. When you can't hear his voice, rest in his character. When you stand alone in the darkness, remember, God does his greatest work in the unseen. The enemy wants you to believe that silence means God has left you, that the darkness is your new reality, that the waiting is worthless. But the enemy is terrified of what is being formed in your waiting, in your trusting, in your refusal to give up when all seems lost. God's silence is not passive. It is not indifference. It is not punishment. It is power at work, subterranean, unstoppable, sovereign. It is the architect drawing blueprints over the chaos of your life, sketching out beauty where you see only brokenness. It is the king moving pieces on a board you cannot see, orchestrating victory where you see only defeat. Do not let the silence convince you that your prayers have been wasted. Every word, every tear, every groan is heard, gathered, treasured. The silence is not the end of your story. It is the sacred pause before the symphony erupts. It is the moment the arrow is drawn back, gathering force before it is unleashed toward its mark. You are closer than you think. The breakthrough you've been praying for is being engineered in the unseen. The chains are weakening. The stone is cracking. The dawn is rising. Hope is growing from the hard, cracked ground. Hold on. Do not turn back in the silent places. Do not surrender to despair when the heavens seem unresponsive. Trust that the God who shaped universes in darkness is shaping you now. Trust that the light is coming, and it will be more glorious for having waited in the dark. Your story is not defined by the silence. but by the breakthrough that silence makes possible. God specializes in the impossible, in the hopeless, in the silent. He brings life from tombs, freedom from prisons, purpose from pain. He weaves victory into defeat, glory into failure, resurrection into death. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not alone. The silence is not a wall. It is a womb. The darkness is not a grave. It is a greenhouse. The waiting is not wasted. It is the workshop of the Almighty. Lift your eyes. Stand your ground. Let faith rise in the silence. The God who seemed silent is the God who is working all things together for your good. The breakthrough is coming, and you will stand in the blinding light of His faithfulness, forever changed by the silence that shaped you and the glory that breaks forth because of it. This is the mystery of faith. This is the secret of endurance. This is the shocking key that unlocks it.